there's nothing more personal than a video direct to the face. That's why I do them in my jacuzzi. That's why I do them when I'm outside walking the dog at the park. They need to see your face. That's why it's called Facebook. It's not called textbook. Just so that I understand, because we have 16 people here, how do you guys make money? Like, are you making money because you have a big email list? Or because you speak on stage, or you have a book, or you do webinars? Like, how are you, just so I understand for context, how are you guys making money? And then I want to show you some really cool techniques that I think you guys will like. And we're going to do some exercises too.
So while they're chatting in the chat box, I'll bring you in. I don't know if you remember when we actually met in person, we talked about it. So a lot of these folks are actually all have developed kind of their own unique way of being generating leads from organic marketing. For example, for us, we have nearly 100% shifted into organic Facebook. So we use Messenger a lot. You know, I think part of why I was excited about bringing you on board is because that technique has worked amazingly 3 years ago, phenomenally 2 years ago. It's still working great right now, but moving forward another year or 2 years, and it will not be working, right? So we need to be looking at what we do next. You know, another thing is that it's hard to scale organic Facebook, right? It's not completely impossible, but it requires gimmicky stuff, which is, again, not what we want to do. Right. Shifting of the organic stuff into more of it at scale and systems. Yeah.
Wow. So everyone here is mostly saying organic Facebook, which then leads to building a list. And from the list, obviously, you can sell to them. Okay. I want to show you guys a few techniques. I'm going to share my screen here. Can you see me? Can you see my screen?
Yep.
Yes? Okay. Now I'm on organic Facebook, right? All right, good. Now I'm going to show you something that's, my hope is that it'll surprise you, and you will then realize everything that I told you at the end of our session was something obvious that you could have done, but it's so obvious that nobody does it. That's my goal. All right. So this is live right now. I'm scrolling through Facebook, and look, somebody just sent me a message. Heather Dobson. Heather Dobson has run social media for GoDaddy for quite some time, right? Global, and she's asking me questions about IGTV and all this kind of thing. And what I do, now Heather Dobson, because she's an employee at a big company, is probably not a person who's going to pay $50K for a mastermind, right? She's an employee, but her power, her value to me is not trying to collect cash, it's the influence, because she controls GoDaddy Social. So if I do a search for her name and me, I see that here I've been on the GoDaddy website live, right? GoDaddy's pretty big. And you can see here.
Hi, everybody.
And here she's asking me questions.
What do we Taco Tuesday every day?
Taco Tuesday.
Is the whole point of a funnel is evergreen content? What are things that you can say that are so...
Now this goes on and on.
Right. And it's a lot of fun.
Right.
We know what we're doing, right?
Right.
We've done this enough times.
And that has allowed you to expand to other NBA teams and then expand to others.
See the Warriors, see? And it goes on and on.
It's not that you're saying no to those. It's that you have to say yes to these three. You don't want to...
I don't like to bother people. I don't like to impose or feel like I'm imposing on other people. Even Dennis has told me, we'll do that. Let our team do that. Let our team take care of that. And I'm like, no, it's okay. I'll do it.
Okay, now, but I'm using Inception because she's not preparing these props and other documents. So I'm actually guiding the direction that we're going to go. And this show went for like an hour something, right? And within this, now this is organic Facebook, right? GoDaddy was live. Not me, GoDaddy went live. And I can pull out 1 minute snippets from this organic piece to then be able to boost and share. That's the thing that I think most coaches and anyone who's doing marketing misses, is that you put out the initial content organically, and then you're going to cut out different pieces that you can then turn into derivative content that then drives you leads and sales in different points in your funnel, which is what we call the topic wheel. Have you guys heard of the topic wheel? Just let me know in the comments. Have you heard of the topic wheel? And if you haven't, that's okay. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. We use the same language because you want to see how I'm building these different things. Okay, so then let me see if I can find another example. If I do another one with Heather and me, and Heather's what we call a lighthouse. You want to build some of these lighthouses. Lighthouse is when you have a preeminent example that is someone who sells for you because they have a lot of authority with a particular audience. Like here's another one, right? I've been on her show many times. And you'll see that midway through this, several times, I hold up a particular document and then she promotes it. Like here, I'm holding up one of our guides, right? And she says, this is amazing. If you guys don't follow this 6-phase process, this is what you need to do. Now remember, it's Inception because I'm getting her to promote us. It's GoDaddy promoting us from her brand, but it goes even further because then if you believe in Inception, you believe in, here, so I go back a little further. Yep. Let's see, this one. No, that's not the one I want. Well, anyway, I've got ones where she's actively promoting us, saying, hey, Blitzmetrics is the best, you should definitely do the $1 a day strategy. This is what we use. And she's even holding up our guides like this. I'm going to show you a few examples and you can start to see a pattern. This is behind the scenes stuff that we don't. What's that?
I'm diving a little bit too much deep into the woods, but I've got a question for you. So you obviously have a team that cuts it out for you. But do you have a tip that you can give? How does your team know which segments to cut out?
We have a process for all of that, which I'm going to share with you guys. Yeah. So if you have a detailed question, ask it and I'll answer it. I want to make sure you understand the strategy first and then the tactical, how do you do the different pieces, okay? I'm intentionally avoiding those pieces at the beginning. I want to share with you later because otherwise we'll go down so many rabbit holes, you'll miss the big picture of what we're trying to do, right?
Beautiful.
What I'm trying to do is Inception. Inception is whoever I want to buy, I'm trying to influence the people they respect. And if I have enough content with the people they respect, then the underlying audience will buy from me. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. So here's my friend Brendan King, and he's the CEO of Vendasta. Vendasta is the gorilla of local online marketing that you've never heard of because they power the yellow pages and TV and radio and all those kinds of guys, right? They're a huge company, a few $100 million, but you never know about it because they white label their services, okay? And you'll see that it was his birthday a couple days ago. And then here, look at this.
Listen here, how are you?
You know Debbie Gibson? You guys know heard of Debbie Gibson? Okay, so everyone knows Debbie Gibson is a famous singer from the 80s, right? So watch this.
Friend, listen.
Here.
Hi, Brendan King. Debbie Gibson here. How are you, my friend? Listen, your amazing friend Dennis Yu dropped by to let me know that with all the devastation caused by the coronavirus, that you are helping people start digital marketing agencies at no charge, courses, support. I am so thrilled that you're doing that. That is so generous of you. And you know that he's so proud working with you to serve local businesses. So he sent me as a little thank you gift, and I wanted to sing a little bit of one of your favorite songs of mine to send you my thanks. Every time I tell it secrets, I remember how it used to be. I realize how that you miss it. How every time it feels to be free. That I'm seeing what to do. Now we'll start again. It's going back to where I hear in the way. Brendan, I hope you enjoyed that. Again, so honored to be a part of celebrating you and your incredible generosity during this wild time. Sending you all my love. Bye.
Isn't that awesome? Now, how is this inception? What I want you to see is that, look, Brendan shared this. He said, this is amazing. Thank you, Dennis and Debbie Gibson. We're in this together. Thank you both for everything that you do. And then you have people that are engaging, liking, and commenting on it. Now, who are the people that are engaging, liking, and commenting on this? And how is this inception? I would love to hear your thoughts real quick. Then I'll go into the detail of how this kind of stuff's done and why.
So these are
What do you guys
people that are following Brandon.
Uh-huh.
So they're potentially your ideal customers. He thinks you're cool. That
Uh-huh.
features your service. So you essentially have been promoted to them without being promoted to them.
That's right. Now, Brendan, because he's the CEO of this company, the people in his company that work for him and his community and the other people in local, because he's very well connected in the world of local online marketing, because I want to demonstrate that I'm an authority, right? Then that is showing to them. And it wasn't me saying it. The whole point of Inception is I'm trying to get someone else to say this, right? You saw the movie Inception, right?
Yeah.
You guys have seen Inception? Tell me yes. Say yes if you've seen Inception. You understand. Because if you haven't seen the movie Inception, this is not going to make any sense to you. If the answer is no, then I'll explain a little further. Everyone's yes? Okay. Yes, love it, says Ron. So Inception, oh, Sue, you need to see Inception. You have some time to watch some Netflix or whatever this weekend? You need to see this because then, and everyone else here, well, isn't that right? Sue? Like everyone else, let's tell Sue that this is like the point of Inception is you're trying to plant an idea in someone else's mind so they make it look like it's their idea. Okay? But really, you're getting them to promote you, but in a non-spammy way, right? Okay. Everyone's saying must watch. All right. Now, what I did was I'm going to stop my screen just for a minute and I'm going to show you my phone. Okay. Can you guys see my phone here?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. And if I go here to my Instagram and I look up Brendan, I will see that you'll see that he and I have been chatting a lot. Okay. And every day he posts a little something new. He takes like a selfie every day, right? Not a lot of engagement, which is good. And a lot of the people that are well known and authoritative, a lot of people have power, actually aren't super well known online, which is to your advantage. Okay. Then I click message and you can see that I said to him, can you see this? It's kind of hard to see with the lighting maybe. And I said, do you have a favorite Debbie Gibson song? And he said, if I had, it'd be Only in My Dreams. He says, why? I said, you'll see why. And then I share this thing and he says, oh my God, this is incredible. Wow, you're amazing, right? And I tag him and he shares it. And now I'm getting some serious mileage out of it. Now, do you want to know my little secret on that? Do you think I know Debbie Gibson? I don't know Debbie Gibson at all. Debbie Gibson is just another person. Debbie Gibson, though, is on Cameo. And Cameo is one of these. In fact, I bought so many of these. I bought hundreds of these, okay? Now, Debbie Gibson cost me $150. And then another friend saw that Debbie Gibson, did you even hear her say, she even included his name, Brendan, in the middle of the song. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Right? That was kind of cool. Because it's her song. She can do it. Then a friend saw that and said, oh my goodness, you know Debbie Gibson? I always was interested in this other song from Debbie Gibson. Do you think you can send a message to her and ask her, like, what's she doing now? And let her know that we were at the same high school and all this. So I said, yeah, sure, I'm happy to. And then I made the request. And then within an hour, Debbie Gibson replied. And then she made this one for my friend Jeff.
Hi, Jeff. Debbie Gibson. My friend. Listen, your awesome friend Dennis, you dropped by to let me know that you are a huge fan. By huge, I know you are a very tall gentleman. Same age. I know that you know all of my songs. And, Dennis asked me who the next Debbie Gibson is, like wholesome, plays piano, attractive. Well, thank you for all those compliments. For you to follow. I mean, have you heard of a girl named Taylor Swift? Like, maybe that's a good one. I don't know. You know they're me. So I'm here to let you know that first of all, I'm working because listen, my skill is here in my house. It works out well for me. Obviously, my heart goes out to you and all of your loved ones and everybody dealing with their own set of craziness, circumstances during these crazy times. So This is a favorite of yours, so hopefully this video message.
You know she's 50?
What do you say? 50 years old?
No, 50 is new 40. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Now I'm being totally transparent here. Like the magician's not supposed to share the secrets. I bought hundreds of these. And remember, we're starting everything organically because we want the algorithm to taste it and let us know, is it working? Because if it's not working organically, then you're basically trying to force it through on the paid side. And that's just like driving with the emergency brake on. You can get down the road, but it's very inefficient, right? We don't want to cheat the algorithm. We want to work with the algorithm, right? We don't want to try to beat the machine. Okay, so you can see, you do a search for Dennis Yu, there is a public figure page and there's me as a profile, okay? You guys know the difference? Is anyone unsure about the difference between these two? Does everyone have, actually tell me, because most people say they know it, tell me yes if you have a profile and you have a public figure page. And if you don't, that's okay. You can just make one right now. Like right now. And while I explain, just make it. Yes. So everyone has, and everyone's clear that it's a page that has your name, Adam Urbanski. But it happens to be a page. It's a business page called Adam Urbanski. Okay, so a couple don't. So go to facebook.com/pages/manage and make one. Mandy plus last name. Do not put in, hands-off CEO or things like that, and your page's name. Your page's name is first name, last name. We are intentionally trying to make it look like a profile. We're trying to make it look like a person. Use the same picture. Okay. Now you see this. This is a business page. Oh, and if you're an author, speaker, coach, then you want to have these sorts of things here, right? Like the speaker reel, showing you on stage in front of famous people, doing famous kinds of things, right? All this kind of stuff. But because it's a page, I have the ability to do ads and analytics and all these kinds of little things. So I'm going to take snippets from me with Heather Dobson or hanging out with Molly. This morning I sent Molly some snips when we were together in Austin, right, which we can edit. And now down here, I've got lots of these little videos. And some of them are short little 15-second videos. Some of them are clips from speaking. So when we were in Austin, right, I asked Nick Kuzmich to come up. And I asked him to share his best tip on Facebook videos, for example, right? So I instantly and willingly cede authority and expertise to someone else who's great. Now, I could argue with him and say, oh, well, I'm better at Facebook ads than Nick Kuzmich. I'm like, no, it's Nick Kuzmich. Have him come up. And now Nick is sharing his best tip, right? And his tip is do your ad and do one of your ads in black and white, because most people don't realize that's an attention reset, right? He's sharing his best stuff. Then I'm taking it and I'm boosting it. And anytime I have any one of these things, other expert, I think Molly was there when we were in with Rich Sheffrin in Delray Beach. Anytime I'm with other people that are interesting, I'm trying to share a 15-second video. Like maybe, let's see here, I'll go back. I have literally hundreds. Like Perez Hilton is my favorite one. I'd love to buy his cameo. But just in general, when I'm with other people, like here, I was in the Middle East, right? And I'm just sharing, I was in Amman, Jordan.
Greetings from the Temple of Hercules here in Amman, Jordan. Look at all these ruins that are here, and we're filming at the amazing golden hour, which is when the sun...
I'm just sharing. I'm not selling anything, right? I almost never sell anything. Sometimes I do sell. Like here's a sale.
The key to scaling your business is having documented processes, because anything that you don't write down for someone else to be able to follow is a recipe that you can't deliver repeatable excellence. We have 48 recipes, courses, and checklists for everything that we do in our business, and that's what we want to be able to share with you. Join Team Blitz Nation and learn how you can systematize your business and get out of the repetitive, mundane, painful, boring things that are holding you back. Think about all the things that you do that you shouldn't have to do if you merely have your processes written down. And if you haven't written down your processes, you can lean on the processes that we've already built, and we can save you the headache. Come join Team Blitz Nation and learn how you can get support from us for a whole year to be able to systematize your businesses Hire other people so that you can do the high value things with your time.
See? Now, that's sort of a medium weight sell, right? You got a bunch of people buying this thing because they've seen so much of our content. They're like, dang, I need to get my hands on all of it, right? I could like fish around for all the free content he has. Actually, I'll go back to the videos. And I'm going to show you a few things on how we're layering custom audiences on the paid side. Okay? So let me go back a little further. Oh, look, I like to bring friends on stage, right? There's Mike Arce. Anyone who's relatively big, I bring them on stage. I brought the head of digital for the Golden State Warriors on stage to keynote at the biggest conference in Norway for digital. And the previous year's opening keynote was Richard Branson. And then I was the next year's opening keynote, but I brought this guy instead of having me take all the time. Why? Because now I've got footage from that talk where the Golden State Warriors in front of a stadium of people is saying, yeah, you know, we drove all these sales. This is before they started sucking, right? Recently. I got the Golden State Warriors on stage saying, yeah, man, we for every $1 million we spent, we got $35 million of revenue through Ticketmaster, and it's because of the processes that Blitzmetrics has. And we work together with Ticketmaster and the rest of the NBA to create all these different processes, right? I got them saying it. I got Ticketmaster saying it. I got Facebook saying it. I got them to say it. Think about this, about your network. Can you get other people to say it? This is one of my favorite e-commerce guys. This guy does the teeth whitening. So I interviewed him for an hour for the podcast, but I have very specific questions because they were designed to pull out expertise that was related around building processes, because I knew that he had a process and he knows that I'm a process guy. I'm an engineer, right? But then I'm going to do dumb things so that people don't think I'm only an engineer. So I'll literally do things like, so I'm with the mayor of Las Vegas and I ask her to say, hey, whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. You know, silly little things, just lots of little lightweight pieces of content. And then every once in a while, I'll promote something, maybe out of every 10 times. So this was at the Military Influencer Conference. And I'll say, hey, come join us. Now, this is a video that literally took me,
what are you doing?
A minute and a half to make, and it took me 0 effort after that. This was done by our editors, video editing team. It cost me maybe $18 to $20 to make. You can do the same thing on Fiverr. We have templates for all this. But notice this was done, no script. This is me just speaking straight into the camera. You can do it off your phone. You don't have to have a studio. Straight into the camera, but then look what happens with the editing.
September 8th to 10th in Washington, D.C. I'm excited about our Facebook marketing workshop. It's for entrepreneurs. It's for military influencers. It's for mil spouses on how you can grow your business. If you have a product or service, maybe you're selling items on Shopify. We're going to help you grow hands-on using Facebook, using 1-minute videos, using the 3x3 topic wheel and the content grid, using the success tracker. And all you need to have is your iPhone. All you need to have is $1 a day. This item here is going to be absolutely incredible. You do not have to be a programmer or a digital marketing expert. We're bringing in other experts on our team to be able to help you build all these things and get it done in a workshop. The beauty of a workshop, as opposed to just the conference, is that we're going to sit down and work on your business so that by the time you leave, you've got digital marketing campaigns that are working. You've got videos that we've created together and edited together that are working. I can't wait to see you guys. It's going to be the day before the military.
And you see what's going on here, right? So they've seen enough of me that then when they see this, you only need a light nudge to get them to show up to the conference or buy your ebook or put in the email address to get your, your free content that's gated, right? But you need a piece of authority. You need something that gets them to say, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about. So it's not in your landing page copy. It's not in these weird sales techniques. It's stuff that shows like, let's see if I can show a few of these, like this one. So I was on CNN and I spoke in front of 3.5 million people live. I flew to Atlanta and they asked me about Mark Zuckerberg and Cambridge Analytica and all that stuff. Remember all that? Yep. So I took snippets of that.
I think it's Facebook to blame for not educating the users about what's possible with data, because Cambridge Analytica could not have done the massive targeting and the massive psychographic profiling that they claimed to do. What they did was they used Facebook in the way that it was intended, all the data that Facebook has to be able to build profiles, things that you and I can do for $1 a day to be able to push out our messages.
Hear that? I dropped $1 a day on live TV.
The stuff about Cambridge using data that was from 3 or 4 years ago to upload to Facebook just isn't technically possible. So Facebook didn't educate us that that wasn't possible. It looks like they're hiding stuff and they're doing this PR cover-up, but Facebook's actually been doing the right thing this whole time.
So you see? Now, did I sell anything there? Why am I doing that? Why am I spending money? Well, first off, why am I posting it on my public figure page instead of my profile? And then why am I spending money to boost that? Yeah, well, I'm targeting the media. And I'm targeting the potential high net worth clients. I'm targeting the people that I want to buy. And then I've got lots and lots of examples of these different clips. And I was lucky because you remember when that whole Cambridge Analytica thing happened, Mark Zuckerberg and his whole team kept making dumb mistakes. And every time he'd, open his mouth and insert his foot, then CNN would call me and I'd fly back into Atlanta. And I went on TV 4 times for 4.5 minutes each, which is an eternity. Normally you're happy just to get one little mention. They give you one quote. Or maybe like local TV, like whatever town you're in, they just quote you. But this is national TV. This is different. Or global TV is very different. Okay, remember I showed you the cameo that I bought? I bought hundreds of cameos, right? So I thought, okay, Grant Cardone, arguably he's the #1 social media influencer, right? So I asked him a question. Hey, give everyone advice on how do you make a 1-minute video? And then I did this. And then after this, I'm going to explain Inception. So watch this.
Hey guys, Dennis wanted me to send you this one best 1-minute tip. Bro, you got to be authentic. You got to be transparent. You got to give people the attention. I'm like, hey, that's one way to get their attention. Now, if you're in a professional setting, it might be more like making a big claim. Okay, I guarantee you something. You got to punch. You got to have a hook. You got to get excited. So, and let me just say this. All that being said, quantity beats quality. Don't kid yourself. You got to get out there a lot, okay? Hey, you guys be great, 10x everything, thinking 10x levels. And that dude you're working with, Dennis Yu, he's a bad man. See what I do? I keep getting your attention. He's a bad man. And that's my little girl right there. She a freak. And that used to be grapefruit on my plate. See what I'm doing?
See what he's doing? So what's going on there? I boosted that. Who did I boost it to and why? I'd love to know in the comments. What do you guys think? He's so drunk. To his fans. Yes, Kristen. So why are we boosting to his fans? Molly says his fans. Why? His fans are your fans. That's right, Owen Hemsath. Because I'm incepting his audience. Anyone who's got an audience, if I target their audience to them, how good do you think the relevance is going to be? What do you think the engagement rate's going to be? Boom. That's right. So you're looking at penny video views, average watch time of 37 seconds. And organically on Facebook, or just at Facebook video in general, the average is 6 seconds. That's how long people stay to watch a video. 37 seconds. Okay? Then I'm getting hundreds of thousands of views or whatnot on this. And then I multiply that by putting it on Instagram, on Twitter, on a blog post. I can use this content everywhere, right? There's all these other places. The social network's all video driven. Then what do I do with the people that are a through play, meaning they watched at least 15 seconds? That turns into a remarketing audience. Then Adam, this is kind of to your other question. And then I remarket them to our $1 a day course. Now notice, yes, that's right, Marilyn, built an audience with them. I'm relying on Facebook and Instagram and LinkedIn and Twitter to automatically sub-target and sequence for me. Because the point of a social network or a feed is I want to let the network with all the data figure out what the next piece of content is. A feed is nothing more than sequential content. The $1 a day course right now, Ron, is free. And there's no strings on it. It's not a free trial. It's no credit card. Literally, what you do is you send an email to operations@blitzmetrics.com with the subject, I love Adam. And then what your goal is. And we'll give you what your goal is to learn $1 a day boosting. Your goal is to get a hold of our training processes. Your goal is like whatever it is. I've tried it before where we'll sell this for like, $997, or sometimes just for fun, I'll put the $1 a day course out there for $1 just for fun. I just want to see I'll do like a 1-day flash sale. And because of this whole coronavirus thing, I thought, let's just put all our training, like everything, like literally everything we have, all the courses, just put it out there free. Not a like put in the credit card and then later, You know, you have to remember to like cancel it. Like I just put it out there free. Okay. And now I'm going to show you why. Is there a strategy for email? Yes, Molly, that is a good question. So let me show you something. So what I could do, now I'm an engineer, okay? And what the engineer mind in me is saying is, hey, you know, I could just put up a video landing page and it'll say, hi, I'm Dennis. Welcome to our training courses. Put in your email address and we'll give you access to all this. And then they put in the email and then the autoresponder kicks in and it says, hey, welcome to our thing. Today is day 1. Now we're going to do this. And then the next email, you can expect something about this, right? Like you guys understand that, right? But I want to do the exact opposite right now for coronavirus. And I think it's not a temporary thing. I think this shift to privacy, to fear, to digital, like I think this is not temporary. And let me show you why. When people are in crisis mode, they want to feel connection. They are feeling kind of lonely. And you remember what Debbie Gibson, can you imagine, like Adam, what would be the difference with Debbie Gibson singing a song that you selected and answering a couple questions that you post on video, or Debbie Gibson sending you an email saying, hey, Adam, man, I love the Marketing Mentor so much. You and Bo do so much, you know, provide so much value, in an email with words or a video. Which one? What's the difference?
Video, definitely. Well, you've got
Definitely. Not like,
video.
yeah, you know, what was that? I want to hear your feedback.
It looks more authentic, right? Anybody could just type an email, right? But when you see them,
you can't fake a video.
But not only it looks more authentic, it is more authentic. And is it a little bit better or is it just way better?
Exponentially better.
Exponentially better. All right, good. So as you can see, love is kind. Look at how many people have come in and asked for the training. Love is kind. Love is. Look at the timestamp. Can you see the timestamp on the right side here? In the middle of the night, even all these people are coming in and they're asking for the training, right? So you know, you imagine when people, when they get that cameo from Debbie Gibson, it's like, oh, hey Molly, Debbie Gibson here. Man, I saw you in Austin a couple of weeks ago with Dennis and all this, right? How does it make you feel? It's like, oh, Debbie Gibson sent me this, okay? So then and because they've seen that I'm on CNN, because they've seen I'm with Heather Dobson, because they've seen this thing, to get a personalized message from you is like, oh my goodness, the star actually like reached out to me. Do you see what I'm doing here? Now watch. This is how you make it connect. This is how you drop the match on the flame or on the wood to have, you know, the boom, right? This is how you have this happen. Okay, now look. Now I'm going to open my Gmail app. Okay. And, this guy just sent me an email asking for the training and I pressed send. I made him a video. Now let's see here. All right. Here, somebody just sent me this email like less than 30 seconds ago. You can check the timestamp. You can see I'm not faking this. Okay. And what does this guy say? Brandon Thomas. I got to remember his name. Say the name in your head because you're about to make a video. You have to remember their name. Hey, I attended the Digital Marketer Workshop that Dennis gave the March 12th and watched the rest of it last night. I want the digital plumbing course and he wants some help. Okay. So he's asking for some training. Okay. Now I hit reply. You guys know how to reply to emails. But when I hit reply, I'm not typing a text reply. I'm coming here and hitting attachment. I'm hitting the attachment. And I'm not attaching a photo or whatever it is. I'm hitting the camera thing here. You see this? And then now I'm going to reply as a video. I switch it to video. I make it go to my face. And I remember his name was Brandon. Hey, Brandon. Dennis, you here. I'm glad you came to that digital marketer workshop. And digital plumbing is probably one of our favorite courses. This is the first phase of the social amplification engine. Our team's going to reply and give you some access shortly. I hope you're having a good Friday. I'm here with Adam and our other friends from the Marketing Mentors. You guys rock. Okay, there's the video. Use video and send. Okay. Oh, please wait while the attachment's uploading. You can see down here, the video's uploading and it is now almost upload. There it is, uploaded. Now, send. Okay. Now, what did I do there? I basically just gave this person a personal cameo. And I've done it from the jacuzzi. I've done it when I'm outside walking the dog. I've done it just while I'm cooking in the kitchen, like Grant Cardone's in the kitchen, right? And I've made two.
Somebody else that you shouted out. You did it to me this morning on another call that you were on this morning as you shouted out somebody else on their computer.
So imagine, Molly, you're a celebrity. Kat, you're Kristen. You guys are all celebrities, and you're just giving cameo shout outs to all these other people. So I've done 1,000 plus of them in the last week, and I spend about an hour and a half a day doing them. That's what your strategy is to build connection during this coronavirus time. Okay? Then, what do you think happens when, Kristen asked, how do you make sure they get the gift? Easy. You take the video, and I run it through our team, but you can run it through Fiverr. You strip out the Fiverr watermark, and you edit it, and you post it as a regular video. You post on Facebook. You write a blog post transcribing it. You send it to them in Instagram as a message. Here, look, this is my phone. Here, Messenger. I'm in Messenger, and my buddy filmer Sean just sent me a message just now. See the little blue dot? And I'm helping out with some travel. So I'm now, instead of replying to the text message, I'm replying with a video. And I flip it to my face so they can see. You can see my face now, right? Hey, Phil, happy to take care of things. Send me more of the details, and I'll get everything hooked up on the Airbnb. I hope you and your wife and Lydia are doing well, and I appreciate you so much. And there it is. And now I press send. There it is. Now I've replied with the video. Everywhere I'm replying with the video. So just so that I know you guys are paying attention, I want you to reply here. Yes, reply with video. I know you're saying text here, but I want you to say reply with video so you know what the key point of our time together is. So you're not just texting people back in your Gmail, in your Skype, in your messages, in your Facebook, in whatever it is. What are you going to be doing? You're going to reply with video. That's right. Reply with video. So now I go to Facebook Messenger, and now I'm in a little chat with Heather Dobson, right? It's chat, text. But I'm going to now, what am I going to do? What am I going to do with her? She sent me a message. I'm going to reply with video. That's right. Point my face, and I'll say, oops, I accidentally let go of the thing. You got to hold it down. Some of these you have to hold down the thing, and some of them you touch it and it keeps going. You just have to know which ones are which, right? Hey, Heather, hope you're having a good Friday afternoon. I was thinking about the episodes that we did together when you had the GoDaddy show, and I thought, what if you just revived that as a greatest hit because it was so good and connected with so many people? Let me know what you think. Hey, Heather, hope you're having a good Friday afternoon. I was thinking about... There it is. Now, what did I just do? Reply with video. Yes? Okay. Now, where can I reply with a video? I can come here to Facebook and I can do a story. I can make a post, but I can also do a story. Now, who here wants to tell a story about something they're grateful for, about something interesting, about some piece of good news? Who wants to do that? And I will record their story right now. Who? Somebody. Maybe Owen, Mr. Vino. Oh, Molly. Oh, how about Owen? I like Owen. I want to see Owen. Where's Owen? Show you.
Let me grab Owen right now. I'm his wife. I'm standing in for Owen.
Teresa, you were.
Oh, there your Owen video. I was wondering where Owen was. You want to do a 15-second video?
Sure.
About anything?
Yes.
Ready?
Let me think about what we want to do it on. Am I on the spot, or are you gonna start?
3, 2, 1, go.
I had an awesome time today with Adam Urbanski and the rest of his group, talking with Dennis Yu and just so many incredible industry leaders. It's been such an awesome time today to make me feel inspired and excited to be just figuring out new ways to help others and to amplify our message.
Fantastic. There it is. And now I've shared to my story. Okay? Now, what do you think happens when you give out messages of gratitude and thanks and love and knowledge and things like that? What do you think happens? It reciprocates. So whether you believe in, The Secret or karma or Christianity or whatever it is, you believe in this thing of stuff coming back to you. So you saw that I just made a video for Phil Mershon, and guess what he replied with? Now remember, our conversation's been text, right? Words. You see all these? Then I replied with the video just now. What did he reply with?
Video.
What did he reply with?
Hey, Dennis, appreciate that. What exactly do you need to know? Like the location,
Okay, so
where we're going?
yeah, there we go. See? And so when this is that whole like pay it forward kind of thing, this multiplier or whatever you want to call it. So here's a friend who's a Mormon missionary. Okay. Now, do you have any friends that are Mormons, or is anyone here LDS? Right. And you understand that there's the 2-year mission. Yeah. Former LDS. And so this guy is a missionary, and he's spending 2 years of his life going and knocking on doors. Okay. And they can't go knock on doors right now because of this whole Corona thing. So he reaches out to me and he says, Dennis, I heard you're really good at this Facebook thing, right? And I want to do some Facebook lives because I want to be out there and preach the gospel and Book of Mormon and all this, right? So then I'm like, okay, good. We're going to go live. Okay. But I've never been live before. What do I do? And what do I say? And like, no, you don't even worry about what you say. You're here to ask questions and show you're here to serve. And, if anyone's lonely or they need a verse, or you're there to just listen to them, like you're here to ask them, hey, I'm here for you. What do you guys need? You need someone to talk to? Like, I know I can't come to your house right now, but, I just want to show that I'm here and I'm listening, and maybe I can bring you some toilet paper, whatever it might be, right? And so he went live, never went live before. And he had something like 2,500 views at his live, right? And it was so good. He's like, oh my goodness, I can't believe this. I thought like nobody would show up. And then they've been going live every day. And I would argue this might be more effective than going door to door. Don't you think? Look at how many thousands of people they're reaching versus just a couple people. Obviously, reaching people in person is more impactful than, whatever. But look at the number of people that they've been able to reach. And now they got this little program going on. Now imagine if they learned from Owen how to do it the right way instead of like the Dennis Yu sort of like hack sort of way. I don't even know what I'm doing, right? I'm using a webcam here, and I have a $10,000 Sony A7 IV with all this other fancy stuff on it. I'm not even using it. Okay? So I'm influencing the influencers, which is Inception. So now let me know in the chat, does this model make sense where I'm getting other people to talk about me so that then I can reshare components of that content, cross-post it to other channels, and be able to then boost it? I'm generating it organically. Someone else is saying it. Use the word Inception. Let me know. Say Inception if this makes sense to you. And if it doesn't make sense, it's okay. Say no, and we'll go back. Because if you do not understand this concept, then it's just not going to make sense. It's like, oh, yeah, that was really cool. That was entertaining, but I don't really quite understand what Dennis was talking about. Inception. Yes, Inception.
Sorry, can I ask a quick question?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes.
So where this doesn't make sense to me is like, I understand it definitely makes sense for people that are like lower on the totem pole, but the people higher in the totem pole, I don't know. I find it really obnoxious when someone who I don't know out of the blue sends me a video that I need to then watch, where it could have just been a quick email. So like, I guess what I'm saying is that, am I just the odd one out that finds that annoying? I just find that influencers.
So Mandy, influencers are busy, but when it's personal and connection, everyone wants to be friendly. And if you're connecting with other people and you're building relationships over time, a 15-second video is no different than greeting a friend for coffee, or if you're Mormon, you don't drink coffee, or for, whatever it might be. And the point of the funnel of awareness, consideration to conversion is that you are building lightweight touches, and you're going from why to how to what, which is know to like to trust. They're all little gradual steps until you get to the point where you can sell. And there's nothing more personal than a video direct to the face. That's why I do them in my jacuzzi. That's why I do them when I'm outside walking the dog at the park, right? They need to see your face. That's why it's called Facebook, right? It's not called textbook, right? It's not called. So what are you going to do when someone sends you a message? What are you going to do?
Respond with video.
Reply with video. That's right. And then when you have snippets, from what they've said, and provided that it's not a sensitive conversation or whatever, because you're asking them for advice and you're like a journalist and you're trying to make them look good. You're not trying to like catch them saying something bad, right? You're not Michael Moore trying to twist their words, right? You're trying to make them look good, right? Grant Cardone, I've got him. I've made 12 videos with Grant Cardone, right? And I've built something called perceived authority. Perceived authority equals implied endorsement. Implied endorsement means that, well, actually, Grant Cardone did say Dennis Yu's a bad man. But even if he didn't say that, the fact that he said, hey, Dennis wanted me to, answer this question, right? So then people are like, oh, well, he must be kind of important because at least Grant Cardone is making something for him, right? So that creates implied endorsement. He doesn't have to actually endorse you. He doesn't have to say, oh, Dennis is really good at running Facebook ads. What I'm trying to do is avoid the most direct, naked, spammy technique, which is, hey, you should join our Facebook or our program, and we're going to teach you how to run ads across LinkedIn, Facebook, Twitter, whatever, analytics, hire up a team of virtual assistants, all this kind of stuff. If you join our program, it's $1,500 a year at the bottom level, and you get support and all this. No, that's not what I do. I say, here's examples. Oh, let me show you other people that are going through this, and I'm interviewing them, so they're not a testimonial. I'm interviewing them about how they were able to achieve a certain kind of success, just like a podcaster interviews somebody. But because they're so well trained up, I'm grabbing snippets out of what they said and then creating a series of remarketing audiences. So all I'm doing, this is the main point that wraps it all together with Inception, is I'm finding the signal for word of mouth. Word of mouth is when you do a good job, you have a good product. If you don't have a good product, if you don't take care of people, if you don't have the expertise, this whole system will hurt you. But if you actually care, you actually take good care of people, then you're just amplifying the stuff that's already there. You're just multiplying that signal. So the expertise is not in programming and tools and technology and systems. That's not it. What we're doing is using a specific process to magnify what is already the goodness that's there. Now, Bill Gates wrote about this in his book, The Road Ahead, which is one of my favorite books. It was written 30 years ago. And he said, technology is an amplifier. It's neither good nor bad. It takes something, if it's good, and it makes it bigger and better. And if it's something bad, it multiplies the loss. It's like, you have friends that get drunk, right? When they get drunk, they drink too much. It makes the happy times happier, and it makes the sad drunks mad, and sadder, and it makes the angry drunks angrier. It like amplifies, right? So that's how I think about the idea of all these things with Inception, about taking high authority content, about boosting it, about making different combinations of this. It's all systematically taking these things and multiplying. So in order to multiply, you need a process. You can't do it all by yourself. Now, I have made hundreds of these reply videos right here. But guess what? We've got hundreds of people that are working behind the scenes. See? There you go, Mr. Adam. And now you're creating implied endorsement because we're hanging out together, right? So you've heard, yeah.
So can you give me an example when you replied to Phil and Phil replied to you? How would you use Phil's response to you? I wouldn't.
That's private between Phil and me. So that's why I didn't play the rest of it, because Phil is dealing with a personal thing, and I'm not going to share what those particular details are. But what has happened, and you've probably seen if you're friends with Phil, is that he's tagged me on Facebook and LinkedIn and other places multiple times saying, I'm so glad that Dennis is a brother of mine because he's been there for me and this and this and this, right? And nowhere did I say, oh, well, Phil Mershon controls who all the speakers are for social media marketing world, right? I'm doing it because I actually care for Phil. I actually read the updates, right? I see what's going on in his life. I was actually late to my session at Social Media Marketing World last year because I took care of something. I had to take care of a little something for him, right? And did that thing that I did for Phil, does anyone else know? Nobody knows except Phil and his family. And it's private. I don't want anyone else to know what it was. But don't you think that, and I'm not doing it to get attention, right? I never mentioned to anybody. But don't you think that's going to result in some other things? It's going to result in us sharing content together. It's going to build our relationships better. In fact, it brought me and Owen closer together because of something that happened. Right? So the idea of replying with video is not to put your life in a microscope for everyone to watch exactly what you're doing. What is that Jim Carrey show where he's like lives in this bubble and everyone's watching the TV show? That's not what I'm saying. The Truman Show. I'm not saying, be Gary Vaynerchuk and now you have to yell all the time and drop F-bombs. No. I'm saying use video to amplify the relationships. And the other question, who was it that asked the question just a minute ago, right? About is it like too forward? Right? Use common sense that you would have in the real world. You would never just go up to a celebrity at a restaurant and bug them and say, hey, I want to, ask you to invest or something like that. So you guys may know I built the analytics at Yahoo 20 years ago, right? That was kind of my thing. And I would play Frisbee with David Filo, who at that time was the richest man in the world under 40, right? Twice a week. And we'd play at the Sunnyvale Baylands Park and be done maybe 6:30 or so. And then we go to this Indian buffet that was about a mile away on Lawrence Expressway, if you guys know where the area is in Sunnyvale. And we would go to places like that. And then people would come up because it's Silicon Valley and they would say, hey, I got this really amazing idea. I want to pitch you. And so David and I would just like look at each other, right? And he's always polite, but he's very humble, very nice guy. And I'm thinking, man, I never want to be like one of those people where they're always like asking for stuff. But if you do it the right way, if you care about things that they care about, like I never asked for David. I never asked David for money, right? Because that would I'd feel like I'd be one of those people. I don't want to be one of those people. I mean, I know him. So, we play Frisbee and, while we're like putting on our cleats and whatnot, he would say, so Dennis, man, how you doing? What are you up to? And I'm like, well, I just ran this 5K, last weekend and I set a personal best or, whatever happened. And hey, have you heard of this thing called the Hood to Coast? It's this crazy race. It's like 130 miles or something from Mount Hood all the way to the beach. And he's like, oh yeah, that's really cool. I'm like, yeah, but it's expensive. It's like to field the team, it's like $3,000 and you have to have a van, you have to fly up there. But maybe one day we can do that. And then he said, oh, you know what? Why don't we just go ahead and have Yahoo sponsor it? Oh, Yahoo pay for everything. I'll print up the jerseys. I'll, buy the plane tickets. I'll rent the vans. I'm like, oh, shoot, that's really nice of you. So you pay for everything, right? Then we wrote a Yahoo story about it. But the thing was, it wasn't like I was trying to be like, hint, hint, David, would you be willing to like fund this thing? Because I know you're a billionaire. I never did that, right? And so the techniques that I'm telling you about Inception are not about trying to manipulate people or guilt them or kind of hint at, hey, I know you have a lot of money. Would you mind like, you could lend me like $1 million, invest in my startup. And I know that, you have lots of money. Like, it's not anything like that. It's the most human, what we're teaching here is the most human thing. If you understand the core concept of, I'm always trying to elevate. I'm trying to share. I'm giving away everything I have for free. And a lot of us were coaches and we make money off of speaking. We make money off of books and programs. And what I've seen from the most successful coaches where we're behind them because we run a lot of their social media is just put all your knowledge out there for free. It seems ironic, but I think Adam will agree and other people here will agree with me that when you put it out there, that actually causes people to want to reach out to you. And then they want to hire you because they want that personal connection. And yes, I bet you everything you've said in your masterminds and premium kinds of programs, you probably said that out there for free anyway, but people still want to pay to have access to you. And when you understand that, this Inception model of building authority and building audiences all starts to make a lot of sense. If Gary Vaynerchuk didn't have millions of these teenagers following him, would it be the same value to be able to have a one-on-one with Gary? Yes or no? Or let me give you another example. Let me give you another one, which should maybe make it a little bit more clear. So you guys know McLaren, right? McLaren is a competitor to Ferrari, right? High-end, expensive sports car. And we did some consulting for them because they know that we do this social media analytics thing, all this, right? A bunch of old people in England, basically. And they prided themselves saying, our machines are superior and are on par with Ferrari. Back in the 80s, we were just as good. And they were going to the technical details. I'm like, I don't even understand all those things about like what makes a sports car faster or better, okay? I don't understand that. All I know is Tom Selleck had a Ferrari in the whole Magnum PI and all that kind of stuff, right? Do you guys remember the Ferrari, the red Ferrari? The kids had the red Ferrari. Do you have a red Ferrari in your poster of a red Ferrari in your bedroom, right? And so Ferrari beat all those other guys because they had better marketing, because they created more perceived authority. And when you have millions of people that lust after, and maybe lust is not the right, they desire a particular object, it makes it more valuable to the people who can't afford it. So I said to the McLaren people, I said, you know what we need to do is, because they're also opening dealerships in the United States. And they were saying, yes, our customer is a 50-year-old male who's usually an executive, and they already have multiple sports cars. They live in a mansion. They have a private membership. Maybe they have a boat, right? And so we want to narrow target that because we heard about your $1-a-day strategy and how you can use $1 a day to target exactly those people. And I said, yes, we can do this. And we can drive people to the dealerships and do test drives and, you know, all this kind of thing. Because you're not going to have a 13-year-old who's going to want to come in and test drive because they can't afford it, unless they're from the Middle East usually or something like that. And I said, yes, we can do the $1 a day, but what we need to do is build a base. And we need to have the social proof from millions of people. And it doesn't cost very much money, right? And they said, no, we don't want to do that because 13-year-olds are never going to buy a McLaren. And I said, yes. And that's exactly the reason why, for the top part of our funnel, we want to target those people. It's because the people who can buy a McLaren, notice there's millions of people that can't buy it. The thing that makes something valuable, unfortunately, especially in our space based on perceived authority, is because of what people cannot afford to buy, right? If a Ferrari was something that everyone could go to the grocery store, go to Walmart and purchase, would it have value? It's because other people can't have it. So when other people can spend one-on-one time with you, that is an exclusive kind of thing. So the irony, and this is what you got to get your head around, the irony is that you have to create yourself as a public figure so that you have audiences that follow you, so then the people who can afford $10,000 a month for coaching or whatever, they see that as special value because not everyone else can spend time with you. Okay? Does that make sense? It's almost like you're making yourself out to be like the girl that's hard to get because you're popular. It allows you to increase your prices. Okay? So say I love Adam as your subject line to operations@blitzmetrics.com, and you'll probably get a 15-second video from me in my jacuzzi tonight. Whatever training you want.
Love it. So Molly's going back for those detailed questions, like how do you let your team, what was the question? How do you let your team know which snippet to pull?
Okay. Now I'm going to share.
When people are emailing in and then you're making the video back, how does the team know to send them the gift, or are you tagging it? How is that happening?
Let me share my screen. Let me show you how. That's Kristen, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hopefully this works. Okay. Can you see this?
Yep.
Let me know. Yes, you can see my screen. Okay. Which ones of these do you want me to click on? I'll click on any one of them.
One of them.
Right? Okay. I'll click on this one. There's like 2,000 of them now, okay? Doesn't matter. Okay. Paul Wilson. Appreciate your offer. My goal is to learn marketing skills to help businesses in my area thrive after the huge economic crisis. And it looks like this is a UK address. So I said, hey, awesome, Paul. I like the picture of Tower Bridge on your homepage. Did I get that right? And I'm honored to have just doubled your Twitter followers, because he had one Twitter follower. What did I do? I clicked on his website and I see, oh, I lived in London. This is a picture of Tower Bridge, right? And then I wrote that. Now I can do it as an email. I can do it as a reply, right? So back to the original question, why didn't I just have a form where everyone can go to? Because it'd be so much faster. Because they could just go to the form, fill it out, and get the stuff immediately, right? Why all this? Why manual when you're hearing from a software engineer? The software engineer is saying right now, because of Corona and all this, right now you need to show that you're a human being and give them a lightweight touch that costs you 15 seconds. Right? Why? Because, and this is what we instruct our team, and I'll get to the other question of how does the team know what to do. What I do in my first sentence is give them a reply so personal, there's no way a robot could have said it. So personal, there's no way an autoresponder, because autoresponders can say, hi, Paul, how is your Friday afternoon doing? And I see that you are from London, England. Right? Like, you don't want to do stuff like that, right? Show that you're a human. And then the ops team comes in and they say, hey, Paul, sorry it took so long. Let me show you some of the courses. Here's some of the things we have. Check out all the different guides that we have. These are all for sale as we normally have, but just mention which ones you want for free and we'll just give it to you, right? We'll just unlock all that stuff for you. And here's some attachments, right? Here's the different things that are in. This is what we've been selling, but we're making it all for free. There's all these courses, there's all these webinars, you know, building chatbots and building landing pages and, you know, doing stuff on LinkedIn and how much do you charge? I'm giving it away all for free. And then instead of building landing pages, because we used to be all big on building landing pages for each event that we go to and whatnot, now I just say, make a 15-second video and that's your entry fee and I'll give you whatever it is you want. Now, the people that are making the videos, they're replying, can you imagine how many thousands of testimonials we've gotten from people that made videos to get access to our training? They'll say like, Dennis, you're so awesome. You know, wow, you know, I just got unemployed and, or I went through your training and now my business is, you know, I got my first client and, you know, blah, 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 right? And it can be
Dennis,
like,
your team is going in there and then answering with the attachments of the classes. That's what I'm trying to understand.
Yes. And they come in and they select the things that we want. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
And then when we have a process for how we edit video, we have a process for how we organize personal brands, we have a process for operations. We have, here, I'll just show you. We call it the master presentation, which is kind of like our deck to make any kind of deck. And this internship, this one.
And that was the only Black Friday purchase I made. Your master presentation, like 1,000 pages, I think, was like $300. I was like, Dennis, it's a steal.
It is, because you know how much we've spent in putting this. Can you guys see my screen now?
Yeah.
Look at this. So I'm just literally showing, this is our process. And the reason why this process works is that we practice what we preach, which sounds obvious, but we don't do anything that isn't driven by a checklist. Every one of these things goes back to a numbered item that shows how to do that particular item. So if I just scroll down randomly, somebody choose a number between 1 and 1155.
997.
997.
Sold.
Sold to the man in black. 997. 997. All right. So this is how we go through metrics analysis action. So metrics, we provide free dashboards because you can use Google Analytics or whatever, but we provide a dashboard. And from that dashboard, we have triggered alerts. So it's like a check engine light for your car, right? Because if we're pulling in all your data and we're pulling in your Stripe and your Kajabi and your ClickFunnels and your Google Analytics and your Facebook ads and your Infusionsoft, we're pulling in all your stuff on your business, right? Pulling in your calls, pulling in whatever, Ticketmaster data. We then put these filters on to then surface when any number looks out of whack based on some basic heuristics, right? Things that are too high or too low based on where we think it should be. And then based on this, like maybe the system detects that someone left a negative review for your restaurant on Yelp, or your click-through rate has gone down, or like something, right? Then the action is, oh, Adam, here's an article on how you can respond to that negative review. Or you should probably go look at this one ad because your CPA has gone up. Or you should respond to somebody who left you this one thing on Instagram. You didn't notice it, right? And so the action is go do this. And here's how to do it. And here's our little 1-minute video on how to do that. Oh, but you could also pay us to take care of that too. You could pay us $20 to edit that 1-minute video. You could pay us $100 to set up your pixels. Oh, we noticed you don't have your Facebook pixel and your Google pixel and all as part of your Google Tag Manager. Like, we can set up that for $100. We have a team of virtual assistants and young adults that are different universities and whatever that have been trained on how to do it, and they'll go ahead and get it done for you. And so we take a little cut. So the way we make money, in case you're wondering how we make money, it's off of little tasks that are sold $20, $100. And we put the training out there for free. We put our software out there for free because the more process that you see that we have and the more training, you're like, oh, great, I got all of Dennis's processes and how they build content and how they do all this kind of stuff. At some point you realize, crap, I don't have a team to execute it. I'm going to need to hire my own people, or I'm going to have Dennis's team do it. And at that point, to actually get you see, everything's moved from courses, which is, hey, do it yourself. Here's my mastermind, $2,000 for this course, to I just want to have it done for me. Can I just pay to have it done for me? And that's why everything's practice what we preach. We show how we do this. So if we're posting across different networks, here's how we think about them, right? This has taken me many years to put together. This wasn't like last week I came up with this idea. Yeah. It took a long
Looks
time.
a little half-assed, Dennis. I think you just did it this morning.
Yeah, this morning. You know, I hired a VA on onlinejobs.ph. It was great. I paid $5 for it. Yeah. So we do have an offer, which is teamblitznation.com, but it's not something we actively promote because we want people to consume the training. We want people to actually try the stuff. We want you to make these 1-minute videos. We want you to boost. We want you to gather up your content library, all this kind of stuff, because then you're going to understand our process. Because what we don't want to do is hop on a call and explain how all the different pieces. We want you to actually go through it because it's going through our stuff that you're actually understanding the process, and that's Inception. So it's at teamblitznation.com.
Love it. Dennis, much appreciation for your time and generosity. Man, I'm always a big fan because, like I said, it's even like you show your processes. You know, with my saying is the preach what you practice, which is exactly what you do. Like you do something, you document it, then you teach it.
Yeah.
So I love that. Absolutely.
Learn to teach.
Yeah. Yeah.
And isn't this more fun this way because we're interacting? Did you ever see me pull out a PowerPoint and read the slides at you?
Nope.
Death by PowerPoint, right? And that's what we do. And we want to connect with people. We don't want to hear someone read the PowerPoint slides.
Yep.
And I think all of us can do that too. And we're just like, I'm seeing your faces and I'm reading how you guys are doing, right? And if someone's stuck, I want to help. I think I would sum it all up as one thing: empathy. If you show people you care, like Sue, I can tell that you're everything about your aura and your face is empathetic, right? And I think if people can see that, then they're going to want to connect with you. They're not going to see that when they see words in a text message or something, or a landing page.
Dang it. I'll let you know.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you. Thank you for being here. I appreciate you. Ladies and gents, wave at Dennis.
Thank you, everybody.